Hello and welcome back to Chaotic Neutral Games. It's Numenera time again! Hey! We are keeping our schedule 1 week on, 1 week off, and over 20 minutes late. At least we're an hour late this time. We managed to stop chatting and go. But yes, we're back. How's everyone's week's been? Decent?
Good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed you.
Saw a dog. Nice.
Yeah. For a whole week. It's a very good dog. That's my news.
I am ambivalent.
Wow. We've got ourselves a dog hater.
No, I don't hate animals. I just have
Everybody
literally
chat.
no opinion. Like, they can be cute, but also I can't be arsed. They're just
You
too
never
much
had a
effort.
pet?
What?
You never had a pet.
I had a hamster. Had some
Not
fish.
really, like, they're not like, they don't really count.
No.
Okay, your hamster.
Hamsters
Your
count.
hamsters
Boss. Hamsters
Fish-
count.
Okay, fish do not count as like proper pets. You can't
No.
like cuddle them or anything.
Can, but you have to put them back in the water very quickly.
It's a lot easier to deal with their shit though.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Which is like my general like wow, I've forgotten the word. I don't like animals because I don't like picking up shit.
That's
Well,
fair.
that's why you get a cat and you train it to poo in the neighbour's garden rather than your own.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why we're late.
This is the conversation we didn't have pre-stream.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Retrospect.
Let's be honest, it's more entertaining if we stick it on stream and we can just chat. Like,
We should just see that. Just go live
Yeah.
at 8.
yeah, halfway
Chat
through a
shit.
conversation, just go. I'm going to
Yeah.
click the button.
Yeah.
You're not even going to know.
Yeah,
And
it's not
we'll-
gonna tell us.
Res, no idea what the
We'll
conversation's
find out we
about.
get like 55 views straight away.
Yeah.
I'll need to switch us to
Springsteen, what's
just
that?
chatting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we jump back into the world and before I try and remember what happened 2 weeks ago, I was saying I can remember the beginning and the end, but everything in the middle I'm going to struggle with. Before all of that, it's time to run the titles. And welcome back. Last we left off, we were inside the data sphere. We have been for several, well, minutes, turns out, from the outside. It's really gone very quickly. But inside the data sphere, Kliji, character names. Kliji had allowed a collection of intelligent nanomachines inside the data sphere. They swiftly went to the data, the storage, and did what they were programmed to do: replicate themselves. A tree was growing in the storage room and turning everything around it into bits of tree. So, swift thinking, Trenton grabbed the tree's code I believe. I'm trying to remember the order this happened in. As the other two charged in and Cleege started like cutting up bits of this tree and distracting it. Trenton grabbed the tree's code and ran to try and fix it, to stop it doing what it was doing. Letty was trying to grab everyone's files and make sure they weren't turned into trees, which would have been bad. Rays of light shearing through bits of this tree as it was pulling more and more into itself, growing stronger and stronger every round. Far too many natural ones, I seem to remember. A lot of free GM intrusions for me as this tree started sprouting other seeds, other trees that were growing themselves. Mazia managed to keep that one under control. But natural ones trying to fix the tree, that's not good.
More
The
trees.
tree starts turning you into a tree, Trenton, I seem to remember, rooting you to the ground until such a point as you scrambled the self-replicating code of this tree and then pushed it, and it replicated itself to be that non-self-replicating code, falling into its nanomachine parts and into dust as the fort disappeared, so it kind of didn't manifest anymore in the datasphere. A little more faff trying to unroot yourself and fix a few things here and there that you could, as the rest of the gang went to finish the deal with Carthus, the Nevagin, who'd agreed to give you the information that you needed in return for you attempting to intercede, putting in a good word for him with the being that was in the green. And so, travelling through these kind of sterile, concrete-like corridors, you came to the green, this organic-looking intrusion into the room with the doors. Walking through, soft underfoot, the feeling of the datasphere changed from this very sterile, dry, dusty, to something living, soft underfoot, smells fresh. And you found yourself walking vertically. I mean, gravity isn't really a thing in the datasphere. You think you have gravity, so therefore you do have gravity. That's how it works. But up to the top of the beanstalk, where you met the giant. The giant was not happy with you there. The giant was not happy with the Nevagin being reattached. The giant was not happy with a Jack being there, because the original Jack, had stolen a skill that could be used to learn many things. Changes daily. For those of you who don't know Numenera, Jacks have a flex skill which they get to choose every day. And so the giant told about the debt that was owed. And Cleege and Letty back and forth talking about how knowledge should be shared. And the giant wasn't too convinced. Mazia caught something that the giant said. The giant turned to Mazia and spotted her as a follower of Keprin of the Axarin, another datasphere god. Very similar to the giant, in that knowledge is the goal, but for Keprin, knowledge is to be disseminated. And for the giant, knowledge is to be kept as an advantage, at all costs. There was a few back and forths about the nature of knowledge and the nature of the advantage you'd keep by holding this knowledge and the advantage you'd gain by sharing it. And the giant was convinced. One of the few natural 20s last time. The giant gave a system to Mazir to hold. This allowing Mazir to find other entrances to the datasphere. Entrances that could be connected to the beanstalk to allow the giant more knowledge. The giant agreed that this would be good payment, a good deal, reparations for the stolen goods to be reintroduced into the world. And, as part of this, agreed to talk with Carthus, to not just cut Carthus off again, but to talk and to make a deal, perhaps. Which, I think you all agreed, meant that you'd held up your end of the bargain to the Nevagin. And I don't think the Nevagin would necessarily disagree. The last thing we noticed was someone looking out this beanstalk, the side, seeing a vista all around, and spotting one of the Calyptor, the mechanical Calyptor, these kind of Triceratops-looking creatures with biomechanical parts. The fully mechanical one was somehow connected to the beanstalk. That's exactly where we left off. So, with the giant looming over your shoulder, what would you like to do?
So is it just the Calyptor? Are they, sorry, or are they bringing the caravan back that's associated with it?
They're bringing the caravan, but the only thing connected is the Calyptor. That's the only reason you can notice it, because the tower is like honing in on it. But stepping up, the kind of window lenses to allow you to zoom in, they're quite far away, but they are beelining towards the beanstalk.
Is this something that we think Merrin might have touched?
What do you mean? Is what something?
The Calyptor. Like, is it something that we think? Is it something that we need to make sure he keeps away from in case it will, whatever he does, disrupts it, or do we think he's already touched it and it hasn't had an effect?
I'm not going to make you roll for it. Merrin avoids the Calyptor generally. Doesn't like them. They're a bit big. Like people are afraid of horses. That's Merrin with these things. They don't know their own size.
Izzy, what is in your hand exactly?
Well, it's a. What is it, Ed?
It's a little puck-like thing. This kind of doubly convex, matte black, almost like shell. And as you hold your hand out, it floats and pushes to the edge of your hand, pointing towards the back towards the way you came, the entrance to this bit of the datasphere.
Well, it's just a thing, and she sort of like tries to sort of like chuck it between one hand, and it starts floating, and she's like, oh, and it does that. It's cool. Probably should not do that actually.
You have a floating compass to data spheres. Okay. And the Calyptor attracted. Where did the giant go?
The eye over your right shoulder. I'm here, don't worry.
Is the Calyptor attracted to you or the data sphere? Why is it coming towards us?
The brow furrows. Is this part of the deal?
No, it is an inquiry as to why this particular thing is coming towards us.
Then you must give me knowledge in return. This is what you've taught me, is it not?
Yes, giant. Sorry, giant. So, This Caliptor is lovely, but it's not got any organic form. It's all biomechanical. And it has this curious ability to be able to detect where the other members of its herd are and like home in on them. So it looks like it's homing in on something, but it's not any of us because, well, one, we're in here, and two, it's never done that before. So is there something going on that we've done in the data sphere? I mean...
As the giant looks, you can hear the Caliptor singing like it has in the past, but from this distance it's just filling the room. The giant's brow furrows more. It seems to be an endpoint in and of itself. Its own connection to the data sphere.
So it's like you?
No. I am within the data sphere. I live here. That thing is part of the data sphere, I think. Like the area you came from, a giant collection of wires and things that you were passing through, that your minds rationalize into physical spaces. It's just wires and boxes. It's wires, boxes, and, well, motor parts.
Trenton, do you think we could use it to form a connection?
Trenton is not here. Trenton is back down by the computer fixing things.
I would like to send... We should probably get Trenton here, so I'm going to try and send Trenton a message asking him to come up here. But yes, thank you, I had forgotten that Trenton wasn't here. Do you think we could find a way to, if they're already connected, to use its connection to forge new connections, or to broaden your part of the data sphere with it? If that's connected to this part of the data sphere, use it to connect to other parts of the world, which would therefore connect them to you. Something like that. I feel there's an idea in there somewhere, I just don't know what it is.
The Cheshire Cat grin appears under the eye that was floating. That seems like a fine idea.
Ah, see? Knew it. I'm not the person. I mean, I am a person. You'll want Trenton for that. Or Letty. Or Cleege. Not me. I'm...
Trenton, you feel a prickling on the back of your neck. You have unrooted yourself by this point, but you feel a prickling on the back of your neck.
Always another thing. Always another thing. Coming. Right with you. I want to. Yeah, there's a couple of things I want to do before I run up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have with me everybody's data discs or tubes. The tubes.
They're files that roll themselves into tubes when they're not in a room that can accept files. Overly complicated.
I want a way of Oh no, because I'm not me, am I? I'm like a incorporeal form or something. Damn it. I want to copy them. Don't want to be able to take them out with me and study them. I want to try and find a way of... Ooh, this... Okay, I'm going to go upstairs to find everybody else, but I'm going to keep on trying to work out a way of trying to find somewhere that I can beam this information to through the chair. So maybe it's stored in the other chair, outside that I can then take out or something like that.
Oh yeah, beaming information through the chair. I was really successful at that.
Yeah, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to do it slightly better, knowing that it could. I don't want to create meat puppets of us all. I want to actually just have the information. So
Yeah, I don't have any more mind slit to save you.
no, exactly.
You don't want to compile the code. You just want to print the code out on like A4 pages.
Precisely, yeah, so that I can have a look at it later on at my leisure.
That'll certainly be
That's kinda what I
possible.
wanna do.
Be a bit
So what-
difficult. Certainly be possible, but a little difficult.
That's okay. Even if it's like stored in the chair or something that I can come back at a later date and then download it onto like floppy disks or whatever.
You know what? Give me a roll now, because you freed yourself quite a while ago. They were walking for a long time, so you've just been working on this for a fair
4
chunk.
seconds.
Okay.
And-
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
We remember came in with like pockets stuffed with everything. So theoretically, if you've got carbon, you can make paper. So you should have like the elements to make the files, presumably. How you get the stuff on.
And then I would need to figure out how this machine works so that I can recreate the machine at the other end. But that's okay. I should be able to do that. I have. I'm now skilled in code cracking. That's what I took because
nice.
I
Nice.
figured that that's kind of what I've been doing here.
And of course, in the data sphere, everything is accelerated, so we don't need to sleep to get those new skills.
Wonderful. And then I also have planning and organizing. So those are my 2 skills.
Absolutely. Down to difficulty 3, 9 or more.
And can I put effort into this as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sounds like you have been for
Yeah,
what
precisely.
seems like hours, but it's probably 3, 4 seconds.
Okay. And that is 15.
15. Absolutely. So you find a way to take the fruit, the code of the fruit, change the material entirely, and start like writing it wrapped around the fruit.
Oh, nice.
You kind of then skin the fruit, like you know when you peel an orange, like that. So you can get yourself like a ticker with the code on. It will be mighty inconvenient, but you could put it in like a better form later.
Yeah, that's absolutely exactly what I want. So I want to copy everybody's code, and then that's a resource for something at some point.
So yeah, you now have the code of the person and the code of like a metal fruit skin with the person's code on it.
Okay. Brilliant. Write that down.
But yeah, as you kind of make that last keystroke and sit back and watch it, like crude graphic representation of this fruit unpeeling, like ASCII art of it happening.
Yeah.
The prickling on the back of your neck goes.
And so this prickling on the back of my neck is related to being called.
You don't know. There is just like prickling, like someone is watching over your shoulder.
Oh, I hate that feeling. I'm actually going to my first thoughts will be that it's one of these guys watching, and so I'll just be like, "With you in a minute." With you in a minute, and if it happens for a little bit, I'll turn around in frustration to look to see if there's anything there or anybody there.
Yeah, when you say "be with you in a minute," no rush. We've got all the time we need in here.
Is this the Nevergin?
It's not a voice you've heard before.
I would have very quickly finished what I'm doing. I'm gonna, because I really want this. I'm gonna finish what I'm doing, and I'm not gonna say anything at all. I'm scared.
A hand is gonna like come over your shoulder and point at a line of code that's wrong. You might want to change this.
I'll spin around. What's there?
There is the eye, and not much else. An eye floating. You're Trenton, then.
Yes.
Your friends wanted to send you a message.
Okay. What was you and I? What was the message? What was the thank you for the code? What was the message? I'm backing off.
The message was that you might be able to help us, perhaps connecting a Calyptor to the data sphere. The Cheshire Cat grin.
It makes no sense, but nothing does.
Oh, don't worry. When you're ready, come up the beanstalk.
Up the beanstalk.
And the
Up
grin
the beanstalk,
disappears.
following the eye.
And the eye closes. And
With
it's
the
gone.
Calyptor and the. Okay, I'll fix the code. Finish what I'm doing. Rub my face a little bit. If I have a face, I don't have a face. Rub my head.
Yep.
Done up. Looking out through the eye.
Yeah, no more feeling of being watched. Up in the top of the beanstalk, what you all saw was the mouth disappear and the eye close for about a minute, and then the eye opened again. Your friend will be turning up soon. He didn't seem too happy to see me.
It probably isn't used to seeing this, and he probably thinks that I have maybe caused another problem, which I don't think I have this time. Right, guys? Comforting silence.
No.
Hold on. No, you haven't. It was weird.
There's and I come through with my fruit.
Hey, Trenton!
Big eye.
This
There's a
one.
bit- Yes, you wanted me. What? No.
Oh,
Zia,
this
what's
is
going
the-
on?
This is the giant. Giant. This is Trent. Oh, I guess you've met.
Yes, I know all about
Okay.
you.
He's not always just an eye. Could you not just be an eye? Could you do?
The eye rolls, and then
Could you change your form to better suit these mere mortals?
Yeah.
eye rolls, goes up and grows, a chair appears, and then the giant appears. This
Somehow
unnaturally wide grin,
Better.
kind of bluish skin, basically completely bald, leaning on the edge of the chair, grinning.
Yeah. So this is the giant. He looks more normal. Anyway, the giant is a god of the data sphere. Please, Mazir, correct me if I'm wrong at any point.
Nope, that's about right.
And lives here, but because the data sphere has become broken up, has sort of become isolated here. And we're going to try and help with that. Also,
Cleachy here swore a pledge.
apparently- Say again?
Cleachy here swore a pledge to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently my original progenitor stole something from the giant. So, in way of paying the debt, I have pledged to find him places that he can expand his knowledge and use it for leverage, apparently.
Leverage against what?
Oh, anything. He likes the leverage. I don't understand it, but
He's a giant already, and a god of a data sphere. Don't think he needs any more leverage. He's doing pretty well.
He can probably hear you, Trenton.
I know. I don't.
We've made a deal already.
Yeah,
We're
I
wondering-
know. You stop making deals with things. Please stop. Luigi, I thought the best with you.
This is not a deal. This is me
It's a deal.
paying the debt owed by my ancestors. Now, the deal with Mizir is something completely different, and the deal regarding the Nevergin, that is on a different level. But mine
And
is
now
not
solved.
a deal. Yes.
Mazir's gonna like high five Letty.
Up top.
Okay, somebody said something about Caliptor. What's this? By the way, I have all of your DNA, all of your code on fruit now, fruit form. Just thought I'd let you know.
Am I a banana?
No, it's pepper fruit. This is just my banana. I made one. I didn't really. I didn't do that.
Of course you did.
If I could do that, I would have done that.
Of course you
I've been eating
can.
a banana. Excellent. I'm eating a banana. It's delicious. Okay, Caliptor.
Hand grips your chin and turns your head left, and you're looking out the window. This lensing effect showing the Caliptor going at quite a clip towards you.
What was it called again?
This one was called Names. It definitely had a name.
Lakshmi? Oh no, Thanik.
Thanik, yes. Thanik was
Oops.
entirely.
And is Thanik? Are they by themselves? Completely.
No, Thanik is leading the two caravans you sent away. Basically,
Oh, that's it.
managed to catch up with. Wow, I haven't spoken these names in like a month.
Meredith.
Matilda. Matilda and the rest of them, and they've all kind of grouped up. And Thanik seems to be leading the way, and Rhodes seems to be quite happy to let Thanik lead the way, from what you can tell from here.
Okay.
Giant said something along the lines of that Thanik is the end of the data sphere, like it's a bit of the data sphere outside.
No, an end point.
The chair.
Like the chair?
So
Okay, maybe. Sorry, Giant, sir. Sorry, Giant. Would you mind explaining to Trenton, because if he has a better understanding, he will actually be able to figure out what to do, and yes, it'll save time in the long run. Although time obviously is not an issue here, but
first of all, the Caliptor being here isn't an issue to you, is it, Mr. Giant?
Oh no, the Caliptor isn't anything a boon.
I'm
Okay.
gonna try and use it.
Do you want the Caliptor in here, or the Caliptor is a gateway for you to get out?
The Caliptor cannot be in here.
Okay.
The Caliptor is, well, the equivalent of this. We could stand inside the Caliptor and look out its eyes. And speak with whatever intelligence has ended up there that is driving the machine, but it's a Caliptor. What intelligence could there be?
And when you say that your arena, your zone that you have influence over has been compartmentalized, how by joining those compartments together, how much of a zone of influence would you like to have? Like twice as much as you have at the moment? 1,000 times as big? And how do I go about joining those bits together?
Why put a number on it?
Now, I actually like you even more now. I do like you now. That's true. Well, Now it sounds like a challenge. Okay, help me to help you. However, to everybody else, I'd like us to get out of here once we've done this with no more deal making. I will help, but then can we leave this data sphere? Please.
I think we'll have to if you want to get to the Calyptor.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, Mr. Giant. How can I help?
You can help by finding these corners of the data sphere, these little moments, bits and pieces, and you can identify them. Kind of waves a hand at Mazir. This little object I've given to your friend.
Mm-hmm.
I have to admit, this is where my knowledge is lacking. The physicality of the data sphere is... well, it's not been contained in the bits of the data sphere that I have roamed. So that's something for you to figure out.
You understand? We're good at improvising. All right, everybody out. We'll not bother you anymore, Mr. Giant.
The floor kind of slopes down slightly, and as you kind of fight it a little bit, the center kind of... there's a hole made in the center. There's one way out if you wish. Oh, it's perfectly safe.
Mazir's gonna trust that.
Okay.
I would like to jump down the hole.
Absolutely. And it is fun. It's a slide. You slide and like spiral down. And then it gets boring. And you just keep going. And then eventually, right at the bottom, you tumble out. Feel the wind on your face into the real world.
Huh. And there was no issues with my body or anything?
No?
Great! This is weird. What can I see?
You are in a plains, a desert looking thing. And as you look behind you, you see metal, glass, synth, this spire, very, very tall, hugely tall, and coming out of it is this kind of beam of light where other bits are floating around it. Presumably this is the beanstalk, and if you kind of figure out the angles, you realise that one of the bits that was floating up there must be where like the camera is that you were looking at on the way out.
Huh. Well, this is very, very peculiar. Can I touch the beanstalk?
Cool underneath your fingers.
Yeah. And I've still got my little disc thing, yeah?
Oh yeah, yeah. The circle that's kind of at head height that was glowing now kind of the glow recedes.
Alright. I will I'll try and call up to my friends and let them know that if they want to come down the beanstalk, I'm not dead. I'm not entirely sure that it will reach, that they'll be able to hear it, but I'm gonna give it a go anyway. And
inside, you see Mazir go down, and then you wait a little, and the giant says, "Oh, don't worry," and pushes on the wall a bit until it kind of points down vertically, and you've got a glass kind of floor looking down. It zooms in, and you see Mizia tumble out the bottom. You can't hear anything she's saying when she kind of shouts up, but yeah, she's tumbled out into the real world.
Where is she?
Well, other than the base of the beanstalk, I'm afraid. Geography is not my strong suit.
Well, the
Right.
Caliptor's made it, so it must be less than a day's ride from the forest. So I'll be able to meet up with you once I've made the long trip round. I'm afraid, Mr. Giant, my body is not in here. I'm tethered. So if I take this route, I'm not sure what'll happen.
Oh.
I
And
might be your guest for a small spell.
Well, you've been a charming conversationalist so far.
I aim to please.
like
Rudy.
Philo is there too, as is the caravan.
Well, nobody better leave Mizia alone, because she's prone to pressing buttons.
Oh, I hate fairground ride. I'm going anyway.
No momentum, no wind, just speed.
Give
and
up after a while.
and after a fair chunk of time,
Trenton! Yeah, Trenton again.
Nazir,
Yes.
it's been about half an hour.
Oh no. What could Mazir have gotten up to in half an hour? Quite a lot. How is there any way of climbing the beanstalk?
Yeah, you've got like decent handholds, and you can get a certain way up. So yeah, if you want to give me a climbing roll, please do.
Isn't it, how tall? How high is it?
So it's kind of skyscraper height.
Yeah. Okay, still gonna go for it.
It'll take more than half an hour to climb, but
Oh yeah, I don't necessarily. I want to see if I can climb up somewhat to get like a good view of the landscape, basically. So I can try and I've spent lots of time like looking at maps. I want to try and see if there's anything that I can use to sort of like locate ourselves in the general world.
yeah, absolutely.
I've got 15. Can I also have acrobatics? Kind of climbing?
I'll give you that. There's a few decent, like the hardest bit is the start, this kind of sheer metal, but once you kind of grab your whip on something and use that to haul yourself up, yeah, there's bits and chunks kind of poking out of it. It's been in the desert wind for ages, an age, probably several ages. So there are some decent handholds, bits of exposed wiring that you probably want to avoid, but yeah, you think you could probably get all the way up with enough time. The difficulty is getting to the floating bits beyond, and the beam goes up and up into the clouds.
So yeah, I'll stop as far after sort of like probably about. I imagine it didn't take me. I imagine it took me like, I don't know, 5 minutes to be like, I was waiting for everyone else and they didn't come through and I got bored of waiting, so I was like, well, I'm gonna climb the beanstalk. So I'll probably climb for about 10 minutes to get a good height, and then I'll try and then I'll see if I can see if I can, as I said, try and like locate us. And then I'm probably, she's just gonna climb, I guess, until Trenton gets there. Because she's not got much else to do, so she might as well just keep climbing and
So if you remember, when you were at the top, you kind of identified you were southeast of the forest.
Yes.
And
I seem to recall that I did roll a natural 1 and I was not southeast of the forest.
you're southeast of the forest. South west of the forest.
I was close enough.
Yeah. Why did I say southwest of the forest? So yeah, with a little bit of vantage, even through the haze, you can see a couple of specks on the horizon. Presumably the caravan coming at you. And yeah, so a little while kind of getting your bearings. The caravan are coming from directly north, which makes sense. You can give me another roll.
Right. And I have survival and visual perception if those
Absolutely.
make a difference. That's 19. What a way to start.
The advantage of being outside is you can look up and you can see the sun.
Ah.
And using the sun, you are southeast of the forest. Looking at the attitude of the sun, actually, with a 19, you're quite a ways south. Like a significant ride.
Huh.
Yeah. The
I didn't think we would
Caliptor
go that
have
far.
made very good time. If your perception of time inside the datasphere has been correct.
Which it probably hasn't. But, good to know. Yeah.
It's at this
Look,
point.
Stratton.
But this is horrible. Hey, Mazia. Does Mazia look like Mazia, or does she look like she looks in the datasphere?
I look small and high up.
Hello.
Hi, Trenton! Or, hi, Trenton!
Yes. Do we look kind of like not people?
Yeah. I mean, you've got like scrapes from these long bits of like fruit peel that you were holding as you tumbled out, which are now kind of scattered on the floor, but yeah.
Oh, no. I'm going to pick that up.
And a banana skin.
Manskin, that's why I slept on it. That's why I ended up there. Are you going to continue to climb up there? I can wait. It's fine.
No, I'll calm down.
Oh, you don't have to. It's fine. Everyone needs a hobby.
Yeah, Mizia will start climbing down.
This is growth.
Good, isn't it? I probably can't see the caravan from where I am, though, can I?
No, from the ground, the haze is too much.
Okay.
Caravan's over there, by the way. I think we're about... We're southwest, not southeast. But it...
Other way around.
Southeast, not southwest. Thanks. It all looks a bit weird, but, it's fine.
Well, should we head towards the caravan? Should we wait until Cleege gets here?
Well, do we not need to pick up Letty first?
Ah.
We'll probably have to go to the chair room or something.
How far away do you think the chair room is?
How far away do I think the chair room is?
With your 19, you reckon you're maybe a week southeast of the forest, and the chair room was maybe a day away from that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's quite a way, so yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe we go and find the Caliptors, and that might speed us up a little bit. And
I definitely want to have a look at that Caliptor. Well, do we wait for the other two? I should have really asked if they were going to come down. I think I heard Letty though, didn't I? So no, Letty's not coming.
Well, we'll wait for Philo. Not for Philo, for Cleege, and then we'll.
Okay. Well, I'm still not quite steady on my feet after that very, very scary ride. So.
Where was the scary ride?
You know, I'm not.
The
I'm not.
giant slide.
Yes, giant slide. It's not my thing. I don't like rides. Well, should we give it half an hour to see if Peach comes down, and then
Yeah,
maybe.
what took you so long?
Oh, you jumped in like 5 minutes after you. Not like 5 seconds, maybe a minute after you. I don't know.
I've been waiting for half an hour. How do you think I got all the way up here?
No, data sphere. Okay, well maybe we'll wait an
data
hour.
sphere.
Maybe we'll wait an hour for PG, because that could be like 5 minutes up there. And
Back inside the data sphere, you see Trenton tumble out, and you see a conversation happen between them.
They don't look like they're moving anywhere.
They might be waiting for their leader. That'd be you, boss.
Sorry, did I imagine the discussion where I said I was going to come back to the chair room because Philo's there?
I had that conversation with you in front of them. I'm assuming some of that must have sunk in at some point.
I think that's quite...
Are you going to go that way around to the chair room?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the whole point of Trenton going was we weren't going to leave Nazir alone. I thought it was obvious from that point of view. Therefore, the rest... Anyway...
Well, either we go and the two of us join up with Philo and you carry my sleeping body, vacant body I suppose, on Caliptor back and we get going, or you get down there and leave a message for Philo and you meet up with the gang. I'm sure they'll figure it out after an hour or so.
Yeah, no, I think I should come with you because I'm more concerned, surprisingly, about getting you back into your body properly.
I'd quite like that.
Yeah,
And if you get going now, then you've got a better head start when I finally arrive back with you, because I can't leave this place until I wake up.
No, but do you not remember? You can... So, if we go back to the chair room, I can go back in the chair, and then
Yep.
you can just go, oh, I'll forward time 24 hours, and then, like, I'll be there, and then you can zap back into your mind.
Aye, but for you, you'll be experiencing that in real time. And so will Philo. So you'll need to get a head start getting out, then I can take a nap and I can wake up. In probably 27 and a half hours.
Letty,
Time's any good in here.
would you take 2 experience points, please?
Oh, god. 2 experience points.
One to somebody else.
6. That's 5 for me. I'll give one to Mazia for that daring climb.
As you feel the back of your head yanked, like someone took a handful of your hair and yanked the back of your head.
Ow.
And again,
Ow. Oh.
pulling you towards the door, the way you came in.
Oh. I'm being called.
Okay, well, let's go.
Oh.
Move.
It's happening. It's happening.
Breathe. Oh no, we're in data. Calm your mind. Happy. I don't know. Just.
So in the data sphere, it seems like you can resist it a bit, but it is definitely like pulling you back towards the chair room.
Mm-hmm. On my way out, I was gonna ask while I was sort of being in the data sphere for a while if I could be searching for valuables that belong to the giant that the giant might not notice. Might have just slipped out of the giant's sort of general sphere of awareness. They didn't know they had it anymore. If they didn't need it anymore, they wouldn't miss it. But I guess that was the thing I was thinking in the back of my mind that Letty would have been looking for.
I remember you
I guess if
mentioning
Letty-
that you were keeping an eye out for things.
Could I make a roll of some sort to know what I could have had? And
Go on then.
as I get sucked out of the data sphere.
You're like scrabbing at things. You're like, no!
Do I have any skills? I have rolled already, but I'm just double checking if I have any skills. I guess stealth is it, really.
Nah.
Oh, I'm specialized in stealing. Does that help?
You're casing rather than stealing. I don't
Yeah,
think that
okay.
counts.
Well, that's a 17.
17 is still good enough. As you kind of, when your head gets yanked, you look up and you see above you the kind of flat ceiling. It's basically a squat cylinder, this room, very wide but not too tall. But you can see what look like hatches in the ceiling. As you focus on one, you can see books and books and books and books just behind it. Skills. Things you could have stolen. But you spent your time talking to the giant, probably quite wisely, but yanked out of the room, pulled back down these corridors. And if you stop resisting, it'll be a lot more gentle, but floating down, pulled down.
She fights the whole way.
Yeah, give me a a check. It's the data sphere. Check to
I don't
resist.
think I get.
your own
That's a
movement.
nat 20.
Oh,
What?
Yeah, so you can
Okay.
feel like occasionally a yank on your hair, but you can plant your feet and stay here if you want to.
Yeah, I think she decides to do it at her own leisurely pace. I think this hurts, but this, like, she hates being
It's not
constrained.
pleasant.
She doesn't like being taken places against her will. So it's sort of that big resistance. You can sort of see streams of water flowing from her weird form, like her stone head form, like flowing, like droplets flowing down the data stream towards where we're going. But she doesn't move.
What's Cleege doing this whole time?
Cleege will be panicking and following, like running back through, until it gets to the point where I can see you. Like, are you okay, Letty? Are you okay? You seem to have stopped moving. Are you okay? Are you
This-
alive still? Are you here?
This hurts a lot, but I've dealt with worse.
Is there a particular reason why you're resisting?
I don't like being told where to go.
Do you know, was sort of aware of that. But maybe, and this is just a maybe, letting go and letting your mind go back into your body wouldn't be such a bad thing on this occasion.
I'm not supposed to be going for a while. I'm pretty sure that stuff takes a whole day to wear out.
I mean,
I'm worried that I'll be going somewhere I don't.
Well, we have absolutely no concept of. Hold on. Oh, where's that? Where's the camera thing? We can talk to Philo. Let's see how long you've actually been gone.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so pulled back through down the beanstalk and back into this kind of stale, dusty, well, it's not air, but the stale, dusty feeling of these concrete corridors, back into the chair room. Picking up the floating camera and looking through, you can see camp has been set up. Like stove, sleeping roll, a few books. Actually, in the caravan there was this kind of lectern thing, and you can see that Philo set that out and has got a charcoal thing has been writing. Looks like Philo's been quite comfortable. Letty, your body in the corner is kind of wrapped in gauze, got a kind of shroud over it.
Is there daylight streaming in or anything, or?
There was never going to be daylight streaming in. It's kind of
Okay.
down a fair whack of stairs. It's just the kind of sterile light from everywhere that seemed to be there before.
Can you see if he's made any food?
There's the stove on. He will have made food. I've no doubt.
Yes. Oh, you're looking a little bit well, that's
Mummified.
yeah, it's a look. It's a look. It's definitely a look. I mean, I could
Here
pop
Goth
through
is
and-
back.
Let's see if we can get Philo's attention. You do it. I can't use this stuff.
I love Cleach's character trait of being an incredibly good tinkerer and just very bad with using like technology. It's very funny to me. Like this incredible genius, and then it's like, where do I click on the phone?
Everyone's
the wrong
picturing their
camera.
like
That's the wrong
grandparents,
camera.
right? Like when you're on Zoom with them and they're like either up close or you're looking like up their nose. It's like, I can't see you.
It's like, imagine if that grandparent was also Charles Babbage.
Where have I
Like,
saved it to?
I mean, I don't doubt Charles Babbage would have a lot of trouble with Windows.
Letty just sort of goes, fuck it, and just lets herself get sucked through.
Yeah, there's an unpleasant jerking sensation as, like, you know, your stomach, what's the word? You know, when you go over a hump and
yeah.
the stomach drops, that feeling as you kind of get pulled into the chair, and then you're gone from the data sphere. And you've got your eyes quite tightly shut, and your arms quite tightly bound. Oh shit! Excuse me. Are you? Who is taking control of the body?
It's me. I'm back.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm terribly sorry. I thought. Hang on. You hear like clanging and shuffling, and eventually a knife like up the side, opening the bindings. It seemed most sensible to wrap you in some cloth. So if you happen to stay like this for a long time, then I do not know too much about butchery, but not that I was going to butcher you. It's about freshness. If the meat is left for a long time without the blood pumping through it, it goes bad. So I was trying to stop that from going. How do you feel?
Oh, hello, sunshine. This is stiff. Oh, all these muscles haven't been doing a damn thing for a while, huh?
Yes, about a week.
A week?
Wow.
Oui.
Oh, jeez. Oh, beans.
I was a little
Alright.
worried after the 28 hours passed up, and so I've been keeping a watch. I've tried to keep it all safe, but I honestly did not know what to do other than wait. I was honestly pondering whether I should take the Calaptor and go, but I'm glad you're back. Is everyone coming back?
So Trenton and Mizea have gone on ahead. Datasphere, turns out, you can travel through it. But my body was back here, and so were you, and so was the Calpator. So we thought, Cleegee's coming back in just a moment. Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I haven't eaten in a week.
Yes. If you have not eaten in a week, we should do soup. We should do soup.
Soup.
Goes and kind of puts away this plate of stuff that he was nibbling on, and puts a pot on and some water on to boil. Do not worry, it will not be long. I have prepared food for myself for a little while, so I can get something going very quickly.
You are the best penguin seal man I've ever met. And I don't say that lightly.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I would hug you, but I think I don't have the strength. Please,
No,
get down here.
sit.
There's gonna be soup.
So yeah, Kliji, you're watching in real time this happening through the thing.
Gigi sort of sighs and sits down in the chair.
And yeah, Kliji forms back into the real world. You take a deep breath of real air.
I was just about to say, if you let me go through first, I can release the bandages. Well, but Philo, it's so wonderful.
I'm so glad you are back. I was worried. I did not know whether you were trapped or if I needed to be doing anything out here. That you were trying to communicate with me, and I kept seeing lights flashing above, and I did not know whether that was you or whether that was. I was trying to. He shows his notepad, and he's got like dots and dashes and like timings of these lights that were flashing, completely random. I could not decode it. I am afraid I am not as intelligent in that way.
Philo, and pick Philo up into a big hug and go, "It's so good to see you. Thank you for staying." And just like, I have no idea what's happened, and then put him down again.
I'm afraid I have even less of an idea what has happened. You were here, and then you were gone, and then it was a week later, and now you're back.
A week?
A week.
A week?
Was it not a week for you?
Nope.
But I thought you said that would be 20 a week.
Time's supposed to go quicker in the data sphere for us subjectively and slower in the outside world. We must have done something weird with that giant.
Was it the giant?
We went up a beanstalk. It's a whole thing.
I will make soup.
Yeah, that smells fantastic. Oh, I have not eaten for ages, you know.
Subjectively,
You
ate just like a couple hours ago, I feel like.
Yeah, actually, like you think you haven't felt for ages, but you feel quite full. Like you feel decent.
Huh. Oh, I'm sure I can manage a little more. Right. Yes, Philo. Excellent. Food.
Yes.
Letty, you're not looking so hot laying down there. Do you want me to do anything?
Just prop me up.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Philo rolls up a bedroll and props you up and finishes off the soup and starts like spooning it to you.
Philo's an angel.
I know.
I've got like 7 points left, like full stop. So this is good for me.
Right, I'm going to. Philo's doing an excellent job there. Letty, you do whatever you're doing. I'm going to go and just see, like, Calipter, where we're at, that sort of thing outside.
Of course. I have been feeding the Caliptor. It should all be there still.
Excellent. Philo, you are truly a divine blessing, and when I tell you about the giant, you'll have an extra something for your book.
Well, it will be an interesting passage, juxtaposition between my sitting here and your adventures.
Anyway, let me go look.
Yes.
Please, you'll disappear.
They also serve who sit and cook.
Yeah. So, we're going to kind of go into, like, narrative time and figure out what everyone's plans are for the moment. Because everyone's back in the real world. A week later, but you're back in the real world. So, first of all, what are Mzir and Trenton's plans?
So I guess we would have figured out that they're not coming down and that I've gone to the chair room and that I've gone back the other way and they're where we left them. Eventually, probably not after so long,
3 hours.
longer than you'd like, but maybe, yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's probably going to be 2 or 3 hours. We're like, yeah, not coming. And then we would have realised where they've gone. So the caravan would probably be the natural place for us to go, right?
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah. Zia, do you know what's going to happen to that little device the giant gave you if we find something that's of interest?
Not a clue. I mean, it might vibrate or open, or I don't know. It's entirely possible the giant said something, but I missed it. He gave me the thing, and I was looking at it, and he was talking.
Oh, I hate it when they do that.
Yeah, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
We will.
You'll figure it out, but I'll help.
I'll give it a go. In the meantime, should we go to the caravan? Do you think they're like a day away, maybe?
I would say so. Yeah, about a day, and that'll give us a heading. I saw when I was up there. I assume I've come down now. We head this way. We can track it using the sun to make sure we're heading in vaguely the right direction for as long as we can. That seems like the sensible thing to do, and then hopefully we'll manage to link back up.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll go to the caravan and meet up with Matilda. Huh? Yeah. Meet up with Matilda, and then just I want to have a look at this. I want to have a look at Thanik. I'm gonna scan Thanik a little bit more than I used to, and see if I can figure out what's special about Thanik and where it's going. I'll talk to Rhodes, ask Rhodes where he thinks it's going, and just get an idea of what the caravan's plans are.
Okay.
And then eventually we want to go back to head towards the chair room, I guess.
It's a full half a day of walking. You see the sun behind the clouds kind of dipping and it getting a little chillier as you meet, well, not halfway, it comes 3/4 of the way and you meet a quarter, because the Caliptor's keeping up a decent pace actually. To make this time in a week is good. But yes, you find the caravan, and Rhodes spots you from a distance. You can see the brow furrow and the calling back, and you can hear kind of echoes of conversation, snatches of what's going on kind of conversation, as you bring each other. Rhodes, when you get within shouting distance, what are you doing all the way out here? How'd you beat us?
Long story.
A good question.
Very long story with really big gaps in it.
How did you get here so fast?
Well, it wasn't that bloody fast.
What day is it?
What year is it?
Also
Who
a
is
good
your
question.
king?
Last time we saw you was maybe just over a week ago, a little longer than that.
Huh.
Oh, they hate maps, don't they? I seem to remember they hate maps. They never use maps.
Oh, Ali has been making the map.
Yeah, no, that's not true
Oh,
at
they
all.
have? Okay, it's not them.
That's forbidden. No, that's not Forbidden Lands. There is an RPG where they hate maps, and I remember it.
Okay.
It was Paul's game, Age of the Stones.
That was
They
it.
hated maps. Yeah.
Sorry, that was it. It really annoyed me. So yeah, I mean, if they can show us the route that they've come, and yeah, I'll just say, where are you headed to?
Well, Thanek seemed to have an idea, and when Thanek has an idea, it's probably a good idea. It's not gone wrong so far. Thanek, actually, like, released from the cart, comes up to you and gives you not a sniff, but like a mechanical equivalent, a quick once up and down nudge with the nose on both of you, and then kind of nudges and finds the little black thing in one of your pockets, lifts up the pocket and lifts out the black thing, which then kind of magnetizes almost to Thanek's face. It's like.
So when you asked a little while ago what it would do, it's going to do this.
It's going to stick to something that's interesting. Come on, let's pull it off. Is it?
It comes off very easily.
Okay. Is it flashing? Is it doing anything?
No, but when you hold it in your hand, it floats and then kind of moves to the edge of your hand and almost kind of pulls your hand to point at Thanek, and then pulls your hand a little forward towards Thanek.
Okay. So
it's definitely Thanek then,
Yeah, so the giant said that it wants to move into other territories, and that Thanek is an endpoint of the data sphere.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Giant data sphere imp.
Yeah, I don't really understand it. We've had an adventure. We met some weird things.
Right. Did you manage to solve our big problem?
You're gonna have to remind me what that was. We fixed some problems.
Oh, with the roots and the trees.
The roots of the trees.
Yes.
We did fix that.
Can you tell us how? Can you do it here?
Is Matilda, is she still okay? Is she okay?
Matilda's in the same situation. Merrin's managed to stop it the whole time, but Matilda's been in the same situation for a while. We've managed to kind of get her to eat, but
she still wants to go back to the forest.
Aye.
Isn't that interesting? That is interesting, isn't it, Trenton?
It is. Do I know how to fix that from here?
You tell me. You've got all the parts.
Do.
I mean, if we don't know, we can always just bring her to the data sphere, put her in the chair, and go through the whole thing again of editing.
Yeah.
Didn't you get like a thing that would infect the trees with non-replicating versions of itself?
Yeah, but she's not a tree, so we could kind of get rid of the forest. Oh, it'll be. Yeah. Okay. What did I have? What was I have with me? It was.
You had the seed, didn't you?
I do. So, with the seed work on her to basically stop the they're not nanobots, are they?
They're nanobots.
Nanobots from basically trying to turn her into a tree.
I'm afraid none of those words make sense to me.
I'm more thinking out loud, Rose.
Ooh.
Don't worry.
Right, I'll get on making a camp then, shall I?
That'll be wonderful. Yes.
Right.
How is everyone? Everyone all right? Other than the tree whole,
Well, I mean, morale isn't great, but everyone's well. Missing food, honestly. Well, the good food.
Yes. Yeah.
At this point, George sticks his head out. Why have we... Oh! Right. Hello.
Hello.
Where are the other two? That's Scott. Where are the other two?
Oh, they went a different way.
Right.
To here. Well, to not here because they aren't here. Well, we're hoping to rendezvous with them a little bit later, if you don't mind a slight diversion.
This whole thing's been a diversion. I don't think we'll mind a bit longer, especially if we can rest for a bit.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna when we do camp for the night eventually. I'm gonna try and scan Thanik, and I'm gonna try and figure out how to use Thanik to get into the data sphere. And I'm going to try and figure out how I can use the seed to combat Meredith's problem.
Matilda,
damn it! Matilda's problem.
Marion Oak.
Damn it. Yeah, those are the two things I want to do, because I either want to bring her into the data sphere and fix her problem there, or use the seed and stuff.
Okay, so while these two camps are being set up, a few more bedrolls being put out in the bunker underground with the ominous chair sat in the middle, and a slightly more cozy thing being set up. You see Matilda being brought to a tent, and Merrin nearby with parts of the machinery that you gave to make sure that Merrin could actually move around and not have to sit by his mother the whole time. As the two camps are being set up, I think we're going to take a break for the first time in quite a few sessions, because we've actually been going for over an hour. I know.
Oh my god.
So yes, we'll be taking a short break, 5-10 minutes, and then we'll be back trying to fix up these remaining issues, these problems. See you in a bit.
Right. 5 minutes. 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 5 min
And welcome back. Last we left off, we were talking about how to solve Matilda's affliction. And I think we're going to continue from there, because I think I know what the people in kind of the chair room are going to be doing for the next week or so.
Napping, eating,
Yeah, if they decide to go that way, then yes.
push-ups.
Yeah. But Trenton, camp has been set and kind of campfires going, and there's some food on, but it's basic. It's not what you're used to.
No penguin seal man.
No penguin seal man.
Rhodes.
Hey?
I was wondering, where did Thanik? Can you remind me where Thanik came from?
Thanik was part of the herd originally, and he took some pretty dire injuries. So I took him to an Eon priest somewhere out there, kind of waving generally in the beyond. I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure where it was before I met these lot, so I didn't necessarily have a map. But I took him to an Eon priest, and the Eon priest, put him back together. Kept more of the organics, but as time went on, the organics kind of, they needed to be replaced, and so eventually, ding ding.
You always took Thanik back to the same Eon priest every time there is an replacing.
For a few times, but after the Eon priest made there was some pretty complicated thing. She taught me how to do it myself, how to fix and attach. That she'd done all the complicated work, so I was just doing maintenance and small additions.
And so the inner workings of Thanik, you deal more with the superficial maintenance. The inner workings tends to work all right.
Not had a problem that's been difficult for me to solve so far. It's all been mechanical, and I can do mechanical.
Well, that's why we get on, Rhodes. That's why we get on. I'm fascinated by Thanik, and I've been getting more of an interest in biomechanics recently, rather than just mechanics. And I was wondering if Thanik is amenable to it, that I could spend a little bit of time getting to know how Thanik works, because it really is, to see what the Eon priest did. It might be useful for you and your maintenance, and also for me, just out of my interest. I'm not going to do anything, just spend time looking at it and examining it a little bit.
Give me a persuasion roll of some kind.
I have no skills or inabilities. What's happened to my stats now?
Yes. So your pool is the same number. You can split it up into your 3 pools however you want.
Okay. So what? Okay, yeah. So I have 16 left, and I can split that up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't need to do the math now. You can just take the number off, and
Yeah, that's good. Okay. I'll put a level of intellect into the. Is that intellect?
Yeah, it's definitely intellect. There's a kind of defensive posture when you mention that, and a hand goes on Thanik's shoulder.
And I'd appreciate that as well, because if it was my machine as well, I'd be quite protective about it. So I'm being reasonably standoffish about it. I'm not being too forceful. And I rolled a 16, and I put a level of effort in.
Yeah, Absolutely. Rhodes, brow furrows, kind of hand on Thanic's shoulder, kind of goes around to the front of Thanic and looks like in one of his eyes, the kind of red original biomechanical eyes, pats him on the head. Well, if he's alright with it, I guess. Yeah, you're a sensible man. Yeah.
You're going to be here. It's I'm not asking.
Precautions. That's all I ask.
I understand. Thanic will be fully functional, and I will just understand a little bit more about it. I'm not going to tinker.
Absolutely.
Right. So I want to, and I'll deal with Matilda a little bit later. And yeah, first of all, I want to figure out how Thanic is a gateway, how Thanic is an how Thanic is an endpoint to the data sphere. That's
absolutely, yeah. Give me that intellect roll.
I'm gonna use scan.
Difficulty
I'm gonna
6.
use I'm going to use the machine that Nazia has, that the giant gave her. I'm going to scan that as well, see if I can figure out how that works, how that connects to Thanic. I'm going to use Charm Machine to charm Thanic to like me, so Thanic is more amenable.
Absolutely.
The figuring out and to try and possibly tell me a little bit more. That's it. That's what I've got.
Difficulty 3. 9 or more.
Electrical machines.
Difficulty 2. 6 or more.
10.
10. That is indeed 6 or more. This is a fair amount of work. This is an evening spent understanding Thanic, and what you understand is that bits that connect to the data sphere are original. They weren't added.
What?
Somehow the Calyptor are connecting to the data sphere. What's happened is these other mechanical parts have amplified it, given kind of an antenna kind of situation, allowing Thanic to tap into the data sphere. You find touching contacts with bits of your wiring, plugging yourself in to Thanic at points. Thanic was looking for you all, and when you entered the beanstalk, there was a ping, and Thanic went, "That's where I should go."
Okay.
And beelined. And if you chat to Rhodes, that was about a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
They'd been travelling for a day or so, kind of out of the Osran woods, before Thanic decided to make basically a 90-degree turn and head south.
I'm probably, if he's with me for some of this, some of my study, I'm probably gonna tell him all this, prefixed with, "You probably won't believe this." I'm not sure if I do either, but this is how I understand it, because I want him to know about his beasts, effectively. And he's obviously mechanically minded, so he gets it. And I'm as cynical as him. If I hadn't seen all this, I wouldn't believe it as well.
Well, it makes sense that they can communicate over longer distances than they're. I found herds of Calyptor that are spread over miles and miles, and you can stand in the middle and hear them all, but when you stand by one, you can't hear the rest of them. So they must have been communicating. I guess that's how they're communicating. I guess they've got their own network or something. Yeah. Oof.
Well, Thanic's going to lead you. We know where Thanic is going to take you. Do I think Thanic's going to go to the chair route, basically, where the other two are?
Thanic doesn't have an impulse at the moment to go anywhere.
Okay. So Thanic's just going to take us back the way we came, basically.
No. Thanic is like back to being standard Calyptor. Just gonna go
good.
where. Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll talk to Mazia. Say, I think we basically just need to take the world back the way they've came and go to the forest, because it's the only way. If we switch off the forest, I had an idea all by myself that if we switch off the forest, that Matilda will no longer need to enter the forest, and I have the ability to do that. I don't know if I can do much with her. I just don't know how to break it to everybody else. They're just going to have to go back the way they came.
Well, at least if we're going back that way, that gives us an excuse to pick up the others. Because
True.
at least then we're, helping them as well as helping us.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that sounds about right. If there's no forest, Matilda can't go back to the forest. As long as it doesn't end up with it, she's just ends up pining for something that no longer exists. And
Pining. It's good.
glad you caught that. Yeah, have you seen Matilda?
No, I haven't. I don't know if there's much we can do for her until we sort out that problem. Possibly just best to leave her be until we get there.
Mazira is going to agree because she doesn't want to go and see Matilda.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. Well,
she wasn't on the best terms with us anyway.
we did
She
lie
left.
profusely to her many, many times.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it was unfair, but
Hopefully this will win us, win back a little bit of favour.
If you are speaking, Helen, your mic isn't working.
No, I wasn't
Good.
speaking.
Okay,
I was
sorry.
just
Just make sure.
disputing.
But one thing that Mazia would like to do is she'd like to go and find Merrin.
Yeah, Merrin is sat at the campfire, just like slumped, tired, spooning like the stew into his mouth, but not really like paying attention. Ollie is trying to keep his spirits up, but yeah, he is exhausted.
Merrin, you look tired. That probably wasn't the right thing to say. I just wanted to thank you. Ted thing is fine. And pretty much all down to you. So thank you for the assistance, because it wasn't nice, and I know it was really boring for you, but thanks.
He signs one more to solve, and then I'll accept your thanks.
We're on it. We've got a strategy in place, and if that doesn't work, we have another strategy which can also be implemented. So, you thank you. You did
And I
help.
want a present.
What do you want? All right, I'll think about it. It'll be something really good. Yeah.
Little
and then,
little cheeky grin at that. Goes back to his soup.
Yep. And yeah, she'll leave. She doesn't have anything else to say to him, and still feels really awkward that his mother is a plant or wants to be a plant.
Your mother is a tree.
So
Okay. Yeah. So I guess we're gonna direct them back towards the forest.
okay. Yeah, the next few days are travel. So I'm going to jump back into the concrete room, the entrance to the datasphere, the chair room, and see what's going on in the camp there.
While we're traveling, though, can I please talk to Trenton and have him help me come up with something for Merrin? I want him to help me make something that a child would. I don't know anything about children. Trenton doesn't know anything about children. Damn it! But I want.
No,
him to
but I
try
know about making stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'd like to think of something and have Trenton help with making something good, as I did say it was going to be good. So
Absolutely. That, I think, is something to decide between sessions as you're
Yeah.
traveling.
yeah.
Okay. Yes, back in the room, the camp has been set up. There's not much need for kind of tents and covers. It is pretty kind of neutral air the whole time in here. After some food and a blanket and a sleep, the morning, you feel a bit better, Letty. Still weak, but a bit better.
Yeah, I had 7 points left, and I decided to leave them all in might, which means I'm impaired and have debility. I felt like that felt narratively thingy. I don't know what that does again. It's been a while.
So impaired is everything is reduced by one level. Like everything is more difficult by one level. And debilitated is the same. So you're down 2 levels for everything you do, and you can only basically crawl.
That feels appropriate.
Yeah. So I am going to actually ask you to make your recovery rolls rather than going straight back up to full, because you may roll badly. You may just feel still awful.
Hell yeah! I'm gonna get my D6 out.
Yeah.
I could roll it in this, I guess. How do I do that?
In what?
Helen made me a sheet.
No, I've not put a dice roller in it.
Okay.
Just roll the d6.
I'll roll the D6. So I roll 1d6 plus 4 per thing.
Yep. I believe you took 1 recovery action in the data sphere.
Oh god damn it.
Unless I'm mistaken. I might be
No.
wrong.
I think we did.
Yeah, I think
I
we
did.
Yeah, so you've only got 3 and then you're kind of back to your 1 action.
So Kleegee's trying to do Kleegee version of physio on Letty, alright? So he's bending arms back and forth, bending knees back and forth, going okay, we'll get you there.
So that's 8 for my
Just yes.
first.
That's pretty good.
Ooh, that's a 10.
Nice.
This is some good physio.
It's good soup as well.
10.
And a real bed, as opposed to an imaginary one that your brain is tricking you that you're sitting in.
These are great rolls.
Nice.
That's 9.
Very nice.
Oh my god. What's 8 plus 9?
17.
17.
There we go. That brings. I thought that was right. I know maths.
Maths is hard. It's fine.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm most of the way up to. I'm. The problem with saying, I'm most of the way up to full is I haven't in any of the tiers taken extra points in anything, so I've still got my starting stats
Nice.
in terms of my HP values. So yeah, I'm not strictly speaking back up to full, but
Yeah. So achy, but the mind sled did take some care of your body. It struggled after the first day, so that's why you were feeling awful. But yeah, achy, still stiff, but better. A sleep and some soup does you good. So,
I mean, I'm guessing we're going to take a few days for Letty to recover because, well, I mean, the only thing Clegy can think to do is, will they come here or will they go straight to the forest? And they definitely need to sort out the forest, and Trenton has got the sea. What do you think, Letty? Do you think, like, we just stay put, or do we, like, go for the forest when you're feeling a bit stronger?
Put me in the cart. We put me on the cart and I can exercise in between. Caliptor can take the weight. I don't weigh much. I can weigh less if I want to.
Well, let's not strain yourself. Let's just get you healed first of all. Yeah. I think Philo, that seem good to you? We head back to the forest. We can do a leisurely pace, maybe half a day.
of course. Sorry, where are the others? Are they not coming out?
Not through this exit. No, I mean, and then I will. Clegy will sit down and tell Philo the story of the datasphere and the story of the datasphere that Clegy knows, and the giant, and it will end with, so yes, they sort of went down the chute and we saw them on the ground, but no idea where they are in relation to us. However, we do know that Caliptor was coming towards them, so we know that they can talk to each other. So I think and I know that we need to sort out the forest, and I know Trenton will be keen on that. I mean, he mentioned something about signs as well, but yes, so we'll have a gentle journey back to the forest. Maybe we'll stay here a couple of days, and then we'll do half a day, set up a camp.
No need to stay here. Just put me on the back of the thing. We can make travel. I feel safer with them at my back. The sooner we can get there, the sooner Merrick can stop doing his thing. Okay, Philo, we're packing up, and Letty just lie there and yes. It's just like old times for me. Used to be on the road a lot anyway, so used to take a lot of keps in the back of wagons that didn't technically belong to us.
I thought for a moment you might be referring to this one, but let's not worry about that. Let's and Clegy will go off, and then at some point he will come back in and scoop up Letty. Hold on. Yeah, no, he will. He will be able to scoop up Letty and take Letty out and put Letty on the cart, and we'll start heading off. But like I say, we won't go we're going to go at a slow pace and, try and keep Letty comfortable and going, basically.
So yeah, it's a few trips actually, because Philo over the week brought various bits and pieces down. So yeah, a few trips upstairs to the Caliptor you have with you. It was Lakshmi and someone else you had with you. I can't remember names, but yeah, the antenna kind of dim lights flashing at the base, flashing a lot more than they were the first time you came through. One of them, of course, is not flashing at all, being the one you disconnected. Yeah, so load up the caravan and back into it. We're going to skip ahead about a week, as you have set up camp outside the forest, a fair distance outside the forest, just keeping your distance. And you see on kind of the horizon, the sun has set, but you can see a light being kind of flashed in your direction.
I think this might be them, or it's a band of people about to murder us. One of the two, but I'm going with the former. Philo, extra stew.
Of course, we are running low on the good stuff, but I will see what I can do.
Spoil them. We'll spoil them.
Make it very hot, so if it's a band of people come to kill us, we can pour it on them.
It's a waste of good.
Good plan.
Good plan.
I'll make one good stew, One bad stew hot. And
So
yes,
clever.
indeed, over the horizon, over the next kind of hour or so, you see it getting larger and larger. A small caravan, two carts, 4 Caliptor, and 8 or so people. I think the maths is wrong on that, but a bunch of people. On the caravan, you spotted the campfire as the sun was setting, and beeline towards it.
As soon as we see the sort of campfire, Mazia is going to send up like a spark of light or something, like a mini firework or something.
Absolutely.
Nice.
And that is indeed the light you saw when they were approaching. Eventually, everyone's sitting around a fire. Philo's food. He actually recovered his bad stew to make it also a good stew.
Even his bad stew is probably pretty good.
Yeah.
It's like a really good stock. It's like, where did
Yeah.
you get the ingredients for this?
Yeah, but it can actually be a proper stew because you've been here for a few days now. So you've had a chance to let it low and slow over like days. Oh, it's good. But yeah, everyone's sitting around the campfire, kind of expectantly looking at the 4 of you. So, what's the plan? Alia kind of pipes up. It sounded like you had some kind of idea of what was going to go on.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, here's the idea. We have a way of effectively... No, Clea, do you want to go?
No, please.
We effectively have a way of what I call hacking the forest. We're going to hack the forest so that the forest is no longer the self-replicating parasitic organism.
We've only got a couple of axes.
That's fine. It's a different kind of hacking. Let's call it fucking with the forest instead. We're going to mess with the forest and we're going to stop it from being this parasitic thing. And then your mum will be less inclined to want to join it because she will be disconnected from it. That's the theory, and I am very confident that it's going to work. What I don't know is...
Sorry.
Go on.
I was going to ask a quick question out of character. Is she still turning into a tree, or does she just have this burning desire to run back to the forest?
Merrin is kind of suppressing it all. So, yeah, she doesn't have the desire when Merrin's suppressing.
Okay. But should we stopped her from turning into a tree by taking her out of it?
Yeah, you paused it.
Okay, cool.
What I don't know is how long this will take.
Okay.
But it
Well,
could be hours.
Hours is better than weeks.
Absolutely. Weeks is probably okay. Because I can try and help boost what Merrin's doing as well now I'm here. And yeah, we'll work with what we've got. But at least I'm very confident this will work.
You know, something's just come to my mind, and really, I probably should have thought about this about maybe 4 days ago. Probably should go and find Cirque first and just warn her what we're going to do. And she might be able to help us, you know, like propagate it so it works better.
I also did think about this, but I did wonder if perhaps she would be maybe against us destroying the forest because it is her life study and work. Not to say that we shouldn't warn her that we were going to change it, but you know, she might not be thrilled.
What if we
Or-
share with her the stuff that we've got here, and then after we're done with it, they'll just be trees again. Just really cool trees. All the same tree. We're not destroying the tree. But we are
No.
giving her the means to make the trees happen. Like, I'm not sure about this.
But she's done the research, and we've done the research. We know what has made these trees extra special. So, arguably, she will have completed her project, and she can move on to something new,
Well, yes,
like bananas.
but we also perhaps don't want to tell them exactly how this happened in case someone gets the good idea to try and do it again. More
Okay, I've got this
effectively.
really weird feeling again. It's like what you just said made sense. This is
I don't want to talk to Cirque. I don't really want to. I mean, I'm happy for you all to let her know what's going to happen. But what's going to happen is we're going to do this.
We are going to do
Counterpoint.
it.
Counterpoint. We're going to need money when we get back in civilization, and we're earning money for the Marion Oak Company, and we're a whole 2 weeks out of pocket. What if we sell her our research?
I thought you were just going to say sell her. What if we sell her? What if we go into the slave trade? I like your
Hey.
thinking.
I ain't never stolen nor sold a person before. No. That's not what I was going for.
And that's not the game I'm going to run.
Sudden side tangent into slavery for the rest of the campaign. No, we're just
However
full
short
circle.
it may be.
I just like that. I like the image of that. You know what? We could sell her that. Oh, good idea. I haven't finished the sentence. I know.
I just knew what we were going to say. We're so in sync,
Yeah.
that's all.
Yeah.
Tell
Do
her
you,
the plan.
do you think
Tell
she's-
her our research. Take out. She's just interested in the trees. She's not interested in making more of them.
That's
She's
what I
not-
think.
But she's not
She's been telling
interested in
people
making
this-
more of them. But what if someone else is? That's the issue.
But where were they going to get the resources from? Once we, remove the nanobot things.
Well,
they're
the
gone.
information is
They're-
in the data sphere.
And we're the only ones who've ever been there and sorted it out, so I think we're fine.
Are
Oh,
we
we could
the
get into
only
that.
ones?
We can make sure we don't tell her everything. We can make sure that we tell her that. Yeah, I could give her.
You can
80%
say
of
that
the
you
information.
prayed to your god and they gave you the seed, Mizia.
She won't believe that.
I mean, weirder things have happened.
I felt like somebody had to say something Mizia-like, and Mizia wasn't doing it, so...
No, it's fine. I agree. If she has funds that she would pay us, then I see no reason not to sell her 80%, 75% of the information, and we can just leave out the key 25% that would allow her to reactivate this.
And maybe she'll help us out for free. Win-win.
Okay,
Says
so
the woman with
what
29
I'm
shins
hearing
in her
from this
pocket.
is you guys are going to talk to Cirque. Excellent. Well done. We'll do that in the morning, and then we'll get on with the rest of the plan.
Do I have to talk to her? Because
Sorry, Trent.
I just don't want her to talk me out of doing this.
Oh, fine. I will go and talk to her, but one of you has to come with me. I hate that forest. And I'm guessing it can't really be... Okay, Mizia, you're coming with me. That's the decision made.
Well,
okay?
while you're
Okay.
talking to her, can I get started on doing this, or shall I wait until you come back?
Wait until we're out of the forest to, do anything permanent, perhaps. Just in
Okay.
case. Just in case you say, turn everything into the forest into a tree, and we're
Good point.
still in the forest.
That's a good point. Yeah,
Or-
and maybe get Courage Cirque to come out as well, because she's okay, I suppose.
What if, when, we turn them back into tree, if they were all people before, what happens if they become people again? Oh my god, I don't like this channeling Nazir thing. This does not sit right.
I don't know that we've got enough stew.
They're not going to turn back into people. It's
The
impossible.
code doesn't revert it.
No.
It just stops it changing anything more. Right?
Yeah. I don't think they would turn back into people.
Fiji was like, well, maybe we'll just have a quick discussion just before we retire. Looking around the campfire at everybody else. Just before we, yes. May I go and see Matilda, or would that not be recommended, George?
I don't see why not. Yeah. Yeah. He leads you to one of the tents which they'd put Matilda in and lifts the flap. Kaliji like to see you from inside. Yeah, alright then. Have you found a way to fix it?
We think so, but not going to lie to you, we can't be sure until we try the things. We do have a backup plan if it doesn't work, but I think the plan that Trenton has should. How are you feeling?
As long as your backup plan doesn't involve like a saw.
Oh, no. Won't involve a saw. It will mean a little journey and possibly a chair. Let's not worry about that. Let's see if we can get plan A to work. Now, the only thing we don't know is how quickly it will work.
Right.
How is Merrin able to contain the pool? I know you're closer to the forest now, but
I can feel it, but Merrin's doing a good job. Yeah, no, he's done good.
Okay, good. Well, you're going to be sort of our barometer of success, so to speak. So
right. So is this like how solved is this going to be? She kind of thumps her foot on the floor. Dum, dum. Am I going to be able to bend my ankle again?
I honestly don't know.
Right.
We will work on that. What we're trying to do first is get that desire to get back to the forest out of you.
That seems like a good start.
Yeah, and then we'll like I say, we're not entirely sure what will happen with you. You're definitely I'm going to keep a very close eye on you while Trenton does his stuff, or one of us is going to keep a very close eye on you, and we'll be ready to take action to plan B if needed.
Right.
That's a good thought. Okay, but I realise it's been much longer than we intended, and I apologise for that.
You've done your best, and that's all I can ask for. My question is, how are we going to sort out pay? Because it seems like you've been conscious for less long than you've been in the world. So, do I pay you for the full week, or do I pay you for a day?
Maybe we have that discussion after we've solved.
Right. Yep. That's.
I think let's work on getting one first.
Sorry. Yeah. Just. Yep. Trying to keep my mind off it and all. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, actually, what I did want to ask you is, who gave you the contract to collect the fruit?
We just picked it up last time we were going through Key.
No one in particular, no name associated or anything?
There's a board in Key. It's a big trader's city, so there's a big anonymous we will buy whatever for whatever. So it wasn't so much an order as a someone will buy this if we get some.
And is there like an address to drop off, or do you drop it off in the market area?
There was an address. It was somewhere up in. I believe you needed to float up to it, but Key, you would probably know,
Okay.
has a kind of blimp system, which only seems to work in the city. This kind of balloons which float up to different levels of the city.
Okay. Right. Oh,
I'm pretty sure that's Key.
okay. Yeah. Okay, good. We might want to take. Well, I'll need to think about how we deal with.
I'll get George to dig out the original flyer. See if he's probably got it stashed somewhere.
Absolutely. Excellent. Well, you have a good night's sleep, and hopefully we can get going again. Yes. Yes. So.
Aye. Well, glad you're still with us. Glad you didn't just bugger off and disappear.
Oh, of course not. We have a contract, and I value the friendship you've offered us.
We've got a contract, aye.
Oh!
And then Clegy is just going to sort of bow and back out at that point.
So Meredith. So Meredith.
So I'm going to have
Matilda!
No, thanks. I was a joke, that's it.
So I'm gonna call the group to a conflab out of earshot of other people. Okay, right. So Mazir and I go and talk to Cert first thing. Okay, Trenton, you work out with Letty how you're gonna
Propagate the
whatever.
seed.
Yes. Now, it did occur to me, speaking to Matilda, that we might need a backup plan, because if Matilda suddenly starts becoming very tree-ish, we're going to need to sort of get her to the data sphere very quickly. Is there any way we can do something with your friend Calyptor, Trenton?
Thanik.
Yes, Danik, sorry. Yes. Is there anything you can do with him that might sort of guide him directly to it, but also do it at speed?
Don't know. Thanik can communicate with. They can communicate with the data sphere.
And yeah,
It's not
from your understanding, Thanik is somewhat like the Nevergin, where I believe Mazir and Letty went inside the Nevergin's head, was looking out through the Nevergin's eyes. It's kind of like that, the Calyptor.
Oh, okay. But I wouldn't know how to get in.
It would require a bit of work, and you'd probably have to get the Calyptor into the data sphere.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of what I mean. The Calyptor has a connection to the data sphere, but it's not like the Calyptor is the chair, for example.
No, I understand that. I was just thinking it seemed to be going quite speedily when we saw it from the beanstalk. I mean,
yeah, so I think it was just going at its full capacity because it was driven.
All right, so what we will do then is we'll get Rhodes to prepare a caravan with 2 of the fittest ones.
Yeah.
And if things start going a bit awry with Matilda, we'll bung her on there. You're going to have to go too, Trenton, because you're going to need to do the...
that's okay.
Oh my God. We need
How
more people.
How
Need
far
more
is it?
Trentons.
How far is it?
It's
About a day.
We
it's
might
about
be
a
able to
day.
do that.
It's about a day.
I think the problem we'll have is when we get her into the data sphere, it will make a record of her as she is when she goes into the data sphere. I don't think there's... If we remove the tree from her, I think just remove the leg. It's a tree stump there now. We can have a go with Merrin's talents, perhaps, or mine, what I've seen of his skills.
It would be interesting seeing what Merrin looks like in the data sphere. I'm not necessarily saying we should take him in, because I made a suggestion like that previously, and apparently that would be unethical. It's just interesting to see how all his things really worked.
It would. I personally don't think he would make it through.
There is also that.
In terms of Matilda's lag, I'm fairly confident that I can recreate what her leg would have looked like from the remaining code, or give her my leg and copy it. She could have our leg.
Like I say, I'm not so worried if she ends up with a bit of a wooden leg. It's more if, like, suddenly treedom sort of creeps up quite rapidly. That was my concern. If
I don't think it will. I don't see any reason that it will.
And if it
I'm
does,
just trying to be prepared.
I've studied sort of what Mary can do. Between the three of us, I think we've got it covered. We can suppress it long enough, boss.
Okay, well, I'm just going to prepare because...
Yeah.
Okay.
It's your thing. We get it. And the more prepared the four of us are, the better, because only one of us seems to have any sort of impulse control.
Oh, you mean
Also,
me? Yeah.
Sure.
Gonna get Philo to do a really good breakfast in the morning. I feel that's going to be essential. Right.
Maybe none of us have impulse control.
Bed all. We've got big day ahead of us.
Yeah, the whole campsite, kind of the fire gets down, like dimmed a little, so you've still got a bit of the heat, but the light's down. Nimchek digs his hole as he always does. Nimchek is indeed with you all. Everyone crawling into their tents. Some people into caravans, Rhodes, as always, kind of just sleeps underneath the caravan. Straight up bedroll under a caravan. And so, in the morning, I guess we're ready to do something. The sun rises, the warmth overtaking the coolness of a desert night. Less deserty here, more plains here, but still quite arid. Everyone getting ready for the day. Philo was up early and did put on a good breakfast, of course. What's the plan for today?
Right, Mazia, let's go. Let's go find Cirque. Come on, chop chop.
Mizia has been up since dawn, and she's just been sitting, like, enjoying the sun, and partly she probably has done some meditation as well, but yeah, mostly just enjoying the feeling of the sun again.
Very nice.
Yeah, let's go onwards.
Okay, deeper and deeper into the forest. How are you planning on finding her?
Going to where she was before.
Yep.
That was my starting point.
Fair enough.
And didn't we told her about the Nevergin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we can't find her at her old camp, she might be poking around the Nevergin's place. I'll have a look as we sort of getting close to where I guess we kind of think she's going to be. I'll also look out for sort of footprints or tracks, any sort of sign of human-ish life.
Yeah, absolutely. So you don't need to really make any rolls, because you describe pretty much exactly where she is. You find her old camp. You find where the ground has been scuffed, and you can see where the feet of the table were hammered into the ground, and you see it's all been taken up and moved. And you see the scrape of whatever kind of sled she has. She doesn't seem to have anything with wheels, but she has sled, heading north towards the Nevergin. As you approach, you see the kind of valley thing where the Nevergin sits, and on top of the Nevergin's cave, basically directly on top of the cave, is her camp. She's set up there, a little open space, and yeah, her experiments are going.
Ah, excellent.
And she sees you approaching. Oh, you have returned then.
Hello.
Hello.
I appreciate you informing me about the fellow down below. He's been very helpful.
Is he still there?
Oh yes.
No.
Well, good. I'm glad you've had benefit of it. How have your forest, experimentations gone?
They have somewhat accelerated since the conversations I've been having. 2 weeks ago, he did tell me that you'd helped him, understand a little further, so we were able to have a much more productive conversation.
Oh, that's excellent. Anything you can share that might help us reverse it or stop it, or?
Well, from what I've been told, you've understood these things, and what I know is what you've figured out.
Interesting. So our plan is to convert the forest back to a forest.
It seems like a sensible idea.
Excellent. We're planning to sort of do that about nowish. Is there anything you need to do before we do that, or would you like help moving your camp out, or?
Oh no, to be quite honest, if you were to stop them replicating, it would make my work remarkably easier.
Excellent.
We would perhaps recommend you not be in the forest while we do it, though. Sorry. But...
Okay. Oh, she kind of looks at one of the experiments that's going. Can you put it off? Perhaps 3 hours?
How long did it take us to walk here?
Maybe an hour.
I suppose I can't see that 3 hours would take. It'll take Trenton a bit of time to set up, I suppose.
Actually, yes, providing you can give us some indication where we can pop this seed that is gonna do the transformation. I mean, you've worked out the forest more than we have, and you have obvious skills with plants. So, any guidance about where we should tell Trenton to do it, and maybe how?
Well, density rather gets deeper that direction, pointing kind of west-southwest from here, deeper into the centre. I would imagine if you were to be looking for a central concentration, that would be the place you would do it. But if it is a self-replicating network, I would imagine that anywhere would do. It would just work. Well, I guess it would be slower.
I think we'll give it as good a chance we've got, I think, by putting it in a central...
And so, if we put the seed in the soil, do we need any special sort of soil for it?
Well, I mean, the soil around here is rather well suited for all these trees.
Okay, so we put that in, put some water on, and then, fire it with some sunlight or something?
I'll be perfectly honest, is the tree not the important part? The tree part will do its thing. Isn't the nanobots? I'm confused as to what your solution is here.
I'm sorry, I'm not there.
We
I'll
have
get it.
a seed
Yes.
that Trenton has done something with, which will disable the nanobots in the rest of the forest. Honestly, I think we're meant to grow it, but I'm not entirely sure.
That to me sounds like a twee solution to some technology. It's a technological solution, but has been enrobed in some fanfare that's irrelevant, quite honestly. At least that's what it sounds like to me.
So, what would you advise?
Whatever nanobots, release them. Get them speaking to the thing. Try and get them to override what these are doing.
Did you, in a story where Jack and the Beanstalk is a thing, did you just poo-poo the idea of magic beans? God damn it!
Dead.
No.
Oh yes, that would seem some. So southwest. Okay, right. So, okay. Don't know why I'm looking there. 3 hours. You can have your 3 hours. It'll probably take us a little while to get back to the camp, then to get Trenton in place, and then to yes.
Well,
3 hours.
if you're going outside the forest, she brings her sled out and loads a few things on it. Would you mind taking that with you?
Sure, absolutely, my pleasure.
Wonderful, thank you.
And Fiji starts hefting it.
Okay.
Mazir does not help.
Back at the edge of the forest, as you see Collegian and Mazir head deeper into the forest, what are Trenton and Letty doing?
Did you want to say something earlier?
No, I thought I was part of the scene.
Okay.
I just can't keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of questions because my notes are obviously patchy. I thought I had a couple of things in my armory for this task. One, I had the long game, which is indeed a seed without the nanobots, which the nanobots can't propagate themselves into. So eventually this would basically just be normal trees. But this is going to take a century, to create a normal forest. But then I also thought I kind of had separated the two things. So I had basically nanobots which will propagate throughout the trees, but won't try to turn living things into trees. But maybe I didn't. Maybe that's me interpreting bad notes.
So, the things that you did inside the datasphere that I remember, you scrambled the nanobot, the self-replicating bit of the nanobot.
Yeah.
And that kind of propagated out to all the other nanobots. So
Okay.
you have kind of the pattern for that.
So
You have a
basically
nanobot
interrupts.
that communicates and stops all the other nanobots doing anything, basically.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what I'm interpreting wrongly on my notes. But yeah. Okay. Great. And then I also have just a piece of fruit.
Yeah, you've just got like a normal tree seed.
Great. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Letty to help me with this. We're going to ceremoniously plant some seeds to start, this new forest. Okay. And then I'm going to release a nanobot swarm,
Nice.
which will hopefully very quickly spread throughout the forest. I've probably never dug a hole before. It probably takes me quite a long time to plant a seed. Maybe about 3 hours.
My question is, where are you getting a nanobot swarm from?
So I did what? So do I? Okay, so I only have the knowledge to interrupt the nanobots.
Yes, you never took anything out of the data sphere with you.
Okay,
Oh.
but if I got a nanobot, if I isolated nanobots from this tree,
You might
should
be
be
able
able
to.
to.
It would be hard work, but yeah, you'd have to kind of improvise some of the machinery to work on them, but it would be possible.
oh, maybe I should have gone and seen it.
Well, we did with Cirque last time. We did manage to tap
Yeah.
into the network, didn't we?
Yeah, that's right.
So while I'm digging this hole and planting the seed, we're probably having this conversation. Like, you know what? We should probably go and see Cirque.
You're kidding me. You're absolutely kidding me right now.
I don't want to, but you
I
know,
thought you could
she's.
just. I thought you could just wave your hand and make the nanobots do the thing with your.
I need to isolate them first. I didn't think this through properly.
We not still have the samples from before, or are they dead now? We had all those samples. You did so. You had like.
Did we take samples?
You had like beakers. You had like little test tubes and everything.
That's true. I do have that.
You still
Yeah,
have
those are the samples that didn't go into the data sphere. You had a load of fruit which went into the data sphere, but yes, you did separate those
amazing.
samples.
You're so much. You know me so much more than I know.
I had me panicked there for a second, Trenton, because I thought we did all that work for absolutely nothing.
Excellent. So,
Yeah, this isn't my job to keep track of. I'm not.
No. Thank you very much.
That was in character. I
No, that's
that
great.
moment that there was something.
It is in my notes. It's just not in my character sheet. So thank you. Okay. So I would have done this with Cirque before. I still might need her because she'll have the tools. But if I don't, I'm going to try and do it without her. Using the nanobots that I've already isolated that I have in
Would you take 2 experience points, please?
Absolutely.
God.
Take one and give somebody else.
I think I'm going to give one to Cleargy for finding Cirque and for wanting to play the long game of planting the trees as well.
As walking out of the forest, dragging a sled full of Cirque's equipment, is Cleargy. And Mazir kind of trotting along quite happily behind. And yeah, the sled comes with Cleargy, and you spot some of the stuff you need.
Amazeballs.
Isn't that convenient?
It is the most convenientest thing ever.
GM intrusions aren't always bad.
Love it.
They are just I can go Deus Ex Machina without feeling bad about it.
Oh,
Okay.
Almost exactly Deus Ex Machina.
we found her. Oh, she made me lug all of this stuff back out. I mean, honestly, so rude. I know I offered, but like.
She did
Anyway,
offer.
she needs about. How much more time do you think she needs, Monsieur?
About 2 hours, hour and a half.
Okay.
Yeah. She's doing some experiment that she can't really stop, so if you can like wait an hour and a half. Right, and then she said like southwest has the most dense like number of trees.
Okay. So that would be the best
and
place
she
to.
thinks that would be a
go
good
there.
place to like, do your magic. Apparently, you're not just gonna plant a seed. I think I must
No,
have
we've done
missed-
that. But that will take like 100 years. So we're going to do something else as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
What I need to do is set up a quick lab. And I'm going to set up a quick lab. I'm going to hack nanobots. And then I'm going to get the ready little nanobot swarm, a self-propagating nanobot swarm to interrupt the trees. That's in an hour and a half.
Right.
Hey,
So
look,
what you're
lab
saying
equipment.
is we're doing something similar to what we did before, but this time you're going to be able to program it, right?
Yes, so that they will still propagate throughout the trees, but they won't try to turn living organisms into the trees. But they will they will program the other nanobots to do the same thing. Basically make them benign.
Right. Okay.
I
well,
believe.
it's only been a week and a half. I can remember what I was doing. Let's get to it.
So, this is just a little bit of like actual swarm AI stuff.
Which I know nothing about.
Yeah. Swarm AI works on local consensus, which means that if everything in one area agrees, then that is true for that bit of the swarm. So, if you were to release something new into the densest bit, the consensus would be against the new thing. It would be like, oh yeah, there's a glitch here. If you release it in a less dense place, you can get a consensus and then start spreading it from there. You would know this. It's a particular type of swarm AI that does that, but yes, that is how I'm imagining this to work.
Excellent.
weird little corners of computer science.
Love it.
We'll be getting away from computer science in the next few adventures, don't worry. So yes, for the next hour and a half, 2 hours, you are trying to create these nanobots, trying to replicate. You get one working. We're going to take rolls for this, but you get one working and you try and convince it to tell the other one to work like that. So instead of having to do each of these individually,
is 2, and then I can just keep on adding another one, and then adding 2,
yeah,
and then adding 3,
exactly.
and so on and so forth. All right.
And as long as the consensus is to not replicate,
Yeah, precisely. That is a 16.
so yeah, this is a 7. Sorry, to start with, because it is very difficult. Your understanding from the data sphere takes it down by 1.
Okay.
So that's a 6. Sorry, yeah.
But then me, Letty, and Mazia are going to be doing exactly the same things we did before when we were doing the experiments then.
Yeah, because we all helped, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing all the same thing again. So is that an asset or?
That is absolutely an asset. Difficulty 5.
We've got planning and organising. I probably would have made notes.
Oh yeah. This is definitely planning, because you've got to know when to introduce new nanobots, and you've got to know how many new nanobots to introduce and all that jazz.
Yeah, there is code cracking as well, which probably feeds into what I learned in the thing anyway. And I rolled a 16.
Yeah, it's good enough. It takes you. It takes time. It does take time.
Yeah.
The time doesn't come from the programming, because you know how to do that. It's a little weird doing it on someone else's machine. Like, it isn't the terminal in the data sphere, but it works pretty much the same way. The time is introducing and measuring, and introducing and measuring, and introducing and measuring, until you've got a significant swarm, and you start introducing fruit to this swarm. So these fruit full of these nanobots, the swarm gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, until such point as Cirque comes out, like trestle table in one hand, bundle of experiment under her arm, strolling out. Oh, are we ready to go?
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
At that point, I press the button or whatever, and I let it go, and just let control go of this swarm.
I'm imagining a very small catapult with a single fruit in it.
And I'll just start at the edge of the forest where the concentration isn't so big, and I'm just going to release control and cross everything.
And I'm going to
So-
run to Matilda to see what's happening.
Okay.
This see-through synth box you were keeping this swarm in, it was so dense in the box that you could actually physically see the swarm moving, like a murmuration of starlings on such a tiny level. As the lid lifts and it kind of disperses into the air, it disappears. The nanobots spread and move apart until you can't see them. And then dum, dum, fruit starts falling. Dum, 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 dum. And this thunderous roll through the entire forest as all of the fruit starts dropping off the trees. Like, some of it splatting on the ground, some of it thumping, rolling. Nothing seems to be changing other than the fruit dropping, but it does seem to indicate that it's not replicating these nanobots. It is excising this section which was the nanobot replication. And the whole forest thunders and then goes silent.
That's a good sign, right, Trenton?
Yes. Yes.
Good.
It's exactly what I wanted to happen.
Inside Matilda's tent, she just takes a few deep breaths, furrows her brow a little bit, kind of takes Merrin's hand and gently slips the glove off, still holding his hand. Kind of lets go slowly, holding on to just like one finger, and lets go. I think you might have done it. She knocks on her foot. You've solved that one at least.
Let's just get you a little bit closer and see,
Aye.
make sure that it's properly gone. It might just have diminished, it might not have gone. Let's just be certain, and I'll help her.
Makes sense. Yeah, so she stands up, and actually she's pretty comfortable walking like this. Like, as much as she was complaining about the ankle not moving, she seems to have got used to it over a week or two.
Yeah.
And yeah, walking pretty firmly. Her knee still bends, so it's a fairly easy walk to the edge of the forest, where she kind of looks at it. If I never see another bloody purple fruit in my life, I will be happy. And that, I think, is where we're going to end for tonight.
Yay!
Oh, something!
Fix the nanobot forest.
Fix the entire nanobot forest.
We've ruined a wonder of nature.
I know.
Restored a wonder of nature.
Yeah, true. Still going to be a purple forest.
Still going to be a purple forest.
It's just not going to be a parasitic one.
Yeah, fruit might be edible now. Maybe.
Don't
we'll
tell
see.
me that.
Not yet! Oh, we've got to do it all again.
Yes, the 8-ball says you will. That is all we have for this evening, with pretty significant arc. That one, I think that's kind of our longest bit of story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
happened?
I stopped going, we need to finish this, and just let it go.
Yeah.
I much prefer running like that. Just kind of seeing what happens, going with the flow and letting it all happen rather than trying to drive you.
I've had a good time both ways, to be honest. So I honestly, this has been super good. Thank you so much for running this.
I love Numenera. So good. So good. If you enjoyed our particular brand of chaos, come and join us in the Discord. I don't actually know if there's any viewers who aren't in the Discord at the moment, but the spiel still comes out. We'll probably do a raid. That's probably a good thing we should be doing. So yeah, let's do a raid in a bit. Is there anything else we need to do Thursday? Thursday is Genesis Excelsior Rising. Yes, indeed. I'm afraid I don't know what's going on there, so Helen, please.
Ooh, well, we've just, 3 out of 4 of us have become a bit more aware of what our powers actually are. One of us, my character, is in the dark still. But, you know, that's fine. Yes, and there's plenty of chaos in the chat, so it's never not lacking. Benefactor Friday.
Benefactor Friday. And
That's going to do my usual interruption.
yeah.
And you can catch everything on the YouTube.
YouTube all the time. Yes, indeed. We've got Blaze in the Dark games. We've got Cthulhu one-shots. We've got Star Wars games. We've got, there's a pirate game and a Lancer game. All worth watching. That, unless I'm very much mistaken, is all the spiel we have to do.
I think so.
I believe so.
So stick around for the raid. But for tonight, I think we will be saying good night. Good night.
Bye.
Night.